Hi all, this is Supriti Panda. I'm working on Mindfire solutions. So today's topic is PayPal IPN. This is about me, my skills, and you can contact me on supriti@mindfiresolutions.com or to my Gmail ID, that is supriti@gmail.com. And here my Skype ID is mfsi_supriti. Okay, let's see what is the agenda of this. First we will know why does it necessary, this PayPal IPN. We all know about PayPal, right? Like it's a popular payment gateway, and also you know about PayPal Express Checkout, PayPal Direct Checkout, and adaptive payment. So what is this IPN? So first we should know why it is necessary, right? We don't know what is it, we don't know why it is necessary. So those are the things we will first know: why it is necessary, what is an IPN, how it, then we will see how it works. Okay, then we will see some setup things which we need to set up the IPN, and then we will see the code samples. Then we will check how we can test our IPN script using our IPN simulator. After at the end we will check some demo, and then we have question answer. So let's see why it is necessary first. If you know the common e-commerce flow, where customer is coming, where he is doing an online order, he is placing an online order, and then he process his credit card over here, and after this it is order being completed. Like once the order is completed on PayPal site, it will redirect you to your site, or it can happen that the PayPal the credit card information is being taken in your site instead of redirecting you to the PayPal site, right? Or any e-commerce site, right? So when the order is complete, and then an invoice will be sent to the customer, and email is sent to the merchant saying an order is placed with this item. Then it will be sent to the warehouse for fulfillment, and from warehouse it will be shipped to the customer at the end. Okay, so here you can see there is no the credit card processing we are doing. We used to use the PayPal checkout system, where we do express checkout or we do direct checkout, right? On express checkout we redirect to the PayPal site and do the checkout over there. On direct checkout we just do the checkout inside our application, like inside our website. It doesn't direct the user to the PayPal website, right? So where do we need the IPN here? We don't need it, right? So let's see next. This is the process the developer has developed, right? And now the developer is very happy, saying that it works because he has checked the common flow and it works for him, right? So now what will happen, he will make the application live and people will use it. People will come online and buy certain things from your site, and then would like to process the cart to order. So he will shop happily. Some of the customer might do it happily, but some of the customer will have this kind of problem. What happened after processing the credit card? Suddenly the power outage happens, or it might happen your machine shut down for some reason, right? It's just unexpected, but it can happen. It can happen to certain customers, right? So on that way, where it will happen, when the credit card is processed, after that, before making the order complete, over here the power outage happens. So actually your credit card is processed, right? And the customer has paid the money for his shopping cart. But when you see you can't get an email, the customer will be worried, where is my order? Why I can't see my order as complete? So he'll be worried. What he will do now? He will obviously complain, right? So the next step, he will say that you give me my money back, or check what is the problem, right? The customer will be very angry on that. So, and obviously the developer or the merchant who doesn't know what is happened, right? Whether this is because of power failure or whether this is because of some other issues, you never know. So now what he will do, he will go to PayPal site website and check his merchant account if this customer has paid something, right? So this is very difficult, right, to manage it like on offline. So how will you manage it online? That is where the IPN concept starts on. Okay, so let's see what is the IPN. IPN says the full form of IPN is instant payment notification. So an instant payment notification, a message service will be automatically notifies the merchant for any transaction happens. So what will basically happen, if here you can see, after the credit card is being processed here, before it will obviously redirect to this order form, but along with that the PayPal will send a notification to the server where the application exists. Okay, so that notification is not dependent on this customer's machine, right? It will be directly called to the server, and you have to tell which file or which URL it has to call to notify that a transaction has happened. Okay, we'll see some example, it will make more sense afterwards. So where do you use IPN? Like you can use it in instant payment, you can use it in authorization, you can use it in e-check payments. As you know, in e-check payments what will happen, the payment will not be instant, right? It will take some time to process your check. So how will your application know whether your e-check is processed or not? You will not go directly to PayPal and always check whether this e-check is processed or not, right? So whenever it happens in PayPal, it will automatically send you a notification to your server saying that this check has been processed or this is completed, or this check is cancelled or denied for some reason, right? So that is where notification will work. It can also be used on recurring payments or subscription, then on chargebacks or refund or adaptive payment. I've shown you on the last on my slide on adaptive payment. There is an option where you can tell that okay, you define the IPN URL for the adaptive payment. We'll see that later on. Let's go ahead and see how this IPN thing works, right? You should know the concept, then you should know how it works, right? Then you'll have got a clear idea, okay, this is IPN does and this is how it works, right? So let's see, this is the normal flow. The first option, it says the normal flow. When you click on the PayPal button to check out whether inside your website, or you redirect to the PayPal website and do the transaction over here, right? And once you do that, what will happen, like it will redirect to the once the transaction is processed or it's complete, or your credit card is processed, then PayPal will redirect to your site back, right? That is not shown over here. It's showing the IPN flow basically. So first request is done to PayPal, then PayPal will send you a IPN message to your server listener script. Okay, so this is the second script where it sends the IPN message. So what is this IPN message? It's like it contains all the parameters that you do while processing the PayPal card. So it will not contain obviously your card details. It will contain all the order information, it will contain how much amount you have used, it will contain all the customer details, it will contain like the tracking ID, everything it will contain, and it's like a query string. Okay, so that is what PayPal will post to your listener. It's not get, it's always post to your listener. Okay, so your listener will get it, and first it has to send a 200 response, which is a blank response saying that okay, I got your, it's like a acknowledgement. Your listener is saying that okay, I got your IPN message, right? Once that is done, your listener also has to reframe the IPN message and send it back to PayPal. So we'll know, we should think that okay, why do we need this fourth step, right? We have already got all the details from the PayPal, then why we are sending it back again to PayPal? It doesn't make sense, right? So let's think like something. Suppose some of the spy who knows about your listener URL somehow, and then he knows obviously the IPN message format, right? So he will create some of the format like that and send to your listener. It's possible, right? So to know whether the request has, the IPN message request has come from PayPal or not, to confirm that, it's just sending this IPN message back to PayPal on the fourth step. Okay, so after getting this IPN message, PayPal will respond back to you. It will just say if it is correct and the IPN message is correct, then it will say verified, and if it is incorrect and it is, then it will show you invalid, it will send you invalid. Okay, so this is how your IPN works. And once you get the verified status, you will check different things like the order ID, whether it exists in your database or not, right? You will check whether the status is complete or not for this order. If it is pending, obviously you will not make your order as complete, right? So if it is verified, then you will check different status which has come on this IPN message, and then accordingly you will update your database. So it's always preferable, instead of updating your database at this moment, if you go back here, at this moment when PayPal will redirect you to your site with the information that it is processed, the credit card is processed, instead of making the order is completed at this moment, it's always better to check through IPN and update the database. Okay, so let's see, this is the same steps I have shown here. The first step, a user clicks on a PayPal button to kick off a checkout flow. That is the first option here. You click on the PayPal button for the checkout flow. And then second step is PayPal HTTP posts your listener an IPN message that notifies you of this event. So it says that okay, some event happens or the transaction happens on PayPal, so PayPal will notify you a post IPN message to your listener. Then the third option is your listener returns an empty HTTP response acknowledgement. Your IPN listener will send it back as HTTP 200 response. Then your listener HTTP posts the complete unaltered message back to PayPal. This is the fourth step. Whether the message has come from PayPal or not, to check that, it will send the same message that it is being got from the PayPal. It will send it back to the PayPal again. Then the only difference is it will add one more parameter, which is like CMD equals to underscore notify validate, which will say that you want to validate that request, that IPN message. Okay, and this is the only parameter you will add and send it back to PayPal. Then PayPal sends a single word saying that if it is verified or if the message matches the original, or if it doesn't match, then it will send you invalid. Okay, so an IPN message consists of variables that describes the transaction. The variable contain information about you, your customer, the details of the transaction itself. I have covered this like before. So what your IPN message contain, right? It will contain all the information about you and the customer and the order or the transaction. Now we will see how the PayPal setup. We will see some codes of it, how it works. Also, we will see what this IPN message consists of. We will see and demo. So here that will make more sense there. Then let's see what is this PayPal setup, where you will say that this is my notification URL, right? So I'll show you on Sandbox or on Live. You go here on Sandbox. I am logged into Sandbox account, sandbox.paypal.com. Once you log in, you go to Profile and My Selling Tools. Logged out as I have logged in for a long time. So let me log in again and go back to my profile. It's the same flow when you log into paypal.com. there also it's the same flow. You go to my profile and then here if you see, I go here to my profile and My Selling Tools. There is a option as instant payment notification. Here I already go into profile, My Selling Tool. Okay, so after that you need to go to instant payment notification over here and click on update. I have already filled up the IPN notification message. So you will like URL, so you will see an URL over there, but in the beginning, yeah, here you can see the URL which I have already done, and the message delivery is enabled. You can edit the setting by clicking on this edit setting, or turn off the IPN if you don't want it, but obviously we want it. We have discussed why we want it, right? So if that is not entered, then you will see something like this, like it is shown here. It will ask you for notification URL. Here you have to give the server notification URL, and you have to also say that receive IPN message. You have to enable that. Okay, so once that is done, any transaction happens, it will call your IPN script. Then we will see some code samples. Like for Sandbox URL, you have to use this sandbox.paypal.com/cgi-bin web-ser, but for Live you have to use www.paypal.com/cgi-bin web-ser. You can get the code sample from this GitHub PayPal IPN code samples, that you can get it easily. And here I can see the PayPal PHP code. Like that you can get in other languages also. So let's see how the code sample. I have added something here. Here if you see, in the beginning I have written test IPN equals to 1 because I am checking on the sandbox mode, and here this is the log file path which I am using to log some of the things that will be shown to you, like the IPN message URL, like message request. I logged it to this file so that I can show you. And as I have told you, IPN sends everything on post, so you can use $_post to get all the data from IPN, but it's always preferable, instead of using $_post, if you use PHP ://input, then it will get all the input stream. Actually what happens, I have experienced some problem when I use some array and I send some array in the like while processing the cards. Like if the product information has some array, then it may sometimes creates problem on $_post. So it's always better if you get it from PHP input stream. Once you get it, you explode the data, because this is a query string I told you, right? So you explode it with ampersand and get the array. So I'm doing the loop of this array. I'm exploding the key and value pair and creating another array, my post, where I'm like the value of the each value is URL encoded. So you have to do URL decode and get it, this post. Why I'm doing this? Obviously we want to use this in while updating our database, right? How will we know which is the order number, which is the transaction ID? So those are the things you can get like this. So I'm making the array, and here, like I have told you, in the beginning of your IPN script you should send a notification to the IPN, like the acknowledgement to the IPN, saying that you received it, which is 200 OK status, right? HTTP 200 response. Most of the server already does it, like when you call some of the page of the server, then it will send you a HTTP 200 response. If you check it in Firebug, you can see it. But this is a backend script. Obviously some of the server doesn't do that explicitly, so in that case you have to mention this HTTP 200 response in the beginning, like this. In PHP you can write header HTTP /1.1 200 OK. This has to be at the first line before this test IPN even. This has to be the first line, okay? So this is how you can explicitly mention if your IPN script doesn't work. Then I'm checking for the magic codes, if the magic codes is on or off, and then I'm building the request back, because I have to send the same request to the to the PayPal itself to verify if it is if it has come from PayPal or not, right? So for that, first in the request I am adding cmd equals to underscore notify hyphen validate, which is what we have to add along with all those data. So I am again doing the for each of my post that I have built, and then I'm building, like from the key value pair I am building the request string. And here, if your magic codes is on, then you have to do skip slashes, because it automatically adds slash to your post parameters. And if it is off, then you just do simple URL encode, like you have to send everything back again by doing the URL encode. So I'm building the request here, and then I'm sending to the PayPal. To send it, I am using the call library, so you should make sure your call library is enabled in your PHP. And then here is the PayPal host. It checks if the test IPN is empty, then use the live one, that www.paypal.com. if it is sandbox mode, then use the www.sandbox. Then here I'm sending all the in the post fields I'm sending the request here, you can see. And also you can see on call opt SSL verify peer and SSL verify host, these two are made as false. This is a very important thing that we should know. When we my test application is on HTTP, it's not in HTTPS, right? So I have made it false. But if your site, basically on all e-commerce site, we put it in HTTPS, right, for in SSL verification, which is more secured. So on that way you have to make it true. If your server is in HTTPS and your server listener is in HTTPS, then you have to make it true, okay? Once I do the call execute, I got the response here. I'm checking any error occurs on call. It doesn't call error number. If there is any error occurs, then I am logging into the log file to see it if there is any error occurs. If the error doesn't occur, then here I am checking the response as verified and or response as invalid. I am comparing. If the response is verified, then you have to check different stat, like you have to update your database, right? So before updating, you also need to make sure the amount that is being shown, the order number, the transaction ID, and the status should be complete, right? So different things that you need to check, and accordingly you have to update your database. Or on invalid, you can either email to the administrator, or you can log to a file which can be reviewed later, right? This is the basic code of IPN in PHP. So let me show you. The code over here. This is the same code I have written over here. Same code, right? Here I am logging it. If you see, I am logging it. Even the status is verified and the request, so that we know what is it in the request, right? So how will we test our script? Because this is a backend script, this will be called from the PayPal. We cannot directly check it, right? So to check it, actually PayPal gives a simulator. If you log into developer.paypal.com and go to application, here you will find another under tools, you will see as IPN Simulator. Okay, so once you click on that, you will get the IPN handler URL. So to check the script, you have to enter your script over here. I have used this URL. And suppose I am doing it cart checkout, right? Okay, again logged out. Let me log in again. So in the simulator, actually you will see this kind of stuff. If you see here, like we are seeing this, right? IPN handler URL, you have to give your IPN script URL and the transaction type. You can define anything to check it. If you are using it in express checkout or in any of the methods of PayPal, then you can do that. So here you can see I have done this notification and I am checking this express checkout, suppose. Okay, and here is my code. If you see here, this is where my code exists, which is notification.php, and I am logging to notification.txt. So when I do, I am saying it is instant, it is confirmed, it is verified, and send IPN. Shows you IPN sent successfully, so there is no problem on sending the IPN message. And here on the script, if you see, it creates a notification.txt, right? So if I do more notification.txt, then you will see some kind of data. I can actually browse it in the browser so that you can see it properly. So here you see it shows that verified, and this is the response we got back from PayPal, and this is the IPN message looks like. This CMD notify validate, this we have added, right? Except that everything has been sent by like PayPal. Residential country, invoice and the address, city, and whatever you send it while doing checkout, it will send you back. So if you see here the payer email, who is paying it, and then there is a status. If you see here, there is a status here, payment status. Yeah, the payment status is complete, right? Completed. And address status is verified, payer status is verified. There are some things you need to check. Depending on your necessity, you can do that. And item number 1, it shows you which items has been sent also. And here you can see the MC fee, transaction ID, receiver, email, customer, payment date, everything is being sent, right? Based on that, you can pass and update your database. So this is how your IPN message looks like. And you can first verify with the PayPal. Once it is verified, then you can update your database. So you have seen how we can test it with IPN Simulator, right? Very simple. This will allow you to test whether your script is working properly or not before putting it in the this IPN setup that I have shown here, PayPal setup, right? So first you test your script, then you put it here. So now we have seen the demo already, right? Only thing I missed to show you is on the PayPal itself. Here, how will you know if your IPN message is called, right? You go to my account history, then there is a IPN history. If you go here, then you will see couple of transactions. For the transactions, the IPN message is called. So it will show PayPal session is too short, so it always signed out. I have to again log in. This is a very important part which will help you whether your IPN message has reached your server or not, whether your IPN message is called or not. These are the different things you can all know from this. Otherwise you will be thinking that IPN message will be called, and I have given the setup URL, I have checked it on this simulator, so it should work, and just forget about that. Don't do that. After some transaction, you can always go to this PayPal IPN history and check whether some of the call has been made or not for those transactions, right? So if you go here and go to history, then IPN history, here you can see, okay, this is just today's date. Last 5 days I have done some transactions. And remember, the simulator check that you are doing, it will not be shown on your Sandbox account, okay? So only if you do some transactions on your Sandbox account, then only the IPN message will be called and it will be shown. Yeah, here you see there are a couple of messages being sent. It shows the status as sent, and if I click on them, there's no transaction ID specified, so it doesn't show. If you mention the transaction ID on the checkout process, then it will show it. Here you can see it shows you the original or recent, because IPN message is not just like sent one time and stops it, right? Because it might happen that your server might goes down at the same time. It's just unfortunate, but it can happen. So what it does, your IPN, like PayPal will try to call it several times, like it will call in frequent intervals till 4 days, I think 4 to 5 days. It will frequently call it and send you message. But this is not a recent one, this is the original one which is sent. And the HTTP response code, it gets 200, so it's like notifies the acknowledge that it's 200, and it's made for adaptive payment. Made, I have checked for adaptive payment, so it says IPN type is adaptive payment. delivery status sent, it says that it's sent or not, right? Number of retries, as I told, as it is already sent and received by the server, so no retries happen. But if it is not received by the server, might happen, it will again call it. So this is the IPN message. If you see the whole thing here, it contains everything which you will send. It will send you back, like the notification URL, IPN notification. An adaptive payment, you can explicitly say which is your IPN notification URL. So I mentioned that, which is sent back to me, and this is the return URL. And status you can see as completed, right? And you can see the transaction type is adaptive payment. I have used it. Transaction amount in USD is 6.0, it shows the amount also. And these are different things that I have sent, right? This is the transaction ID, it is being sent, and it says transaction status has completed. So this is how your IPN message will look like, and you can always check whether your IPN message is called and it is successful or not in history, IPN history. Okay, so we have seen the demo and we have seen how it works, right? And any questions, you can email me to my email address, or you can Skype me, you can contact me. And thank you. These are all the references that you can follow. These are the main references for PayPal, and these are the images which I have used in this slide. These are the image references. And this is about my company, which is like you can contact us on this www.mindfiresolutions.com, and this is Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter. Thank you very much.